Hello. So today let's talk about why long-term resting it might not be the best remedy, and we're going to talk about some pain solutions that may work for you if you have long-term rest in mind. So basically, is long-term resting really the best remedy, and some pain solutions for executive mums. Now, as an executive mom, you may not be a stranger to long days packed with busy schedules, multitasking, meetings, deadlines, and constant demands of motherhood. Now, when you finally feel that twinge in your lower back or that nagging pain, that is nerve pain running down your legs or your arms, or maybe your cervical spine or your neck is painful, the most natural response often is to take rest. Now, I know as moms, rest is something that is a luxury for most of us. However, when you do get the chance, or when you think about it, sometimes you might resort to long-term resting to get that pain relief that you need so much. I mean, after all, when you're running on fumes, you're running on that, a little thread of energy that you have left at the end of the day. You might think, oh, I'll just rest it out. But did you know that too much rest can also be counterproductive? So let me explain more in today's video. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain despite low energy levels and brain fog or lack of focus. I do this by giving you simple exercises, some lifestyle modifications, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain and my spinal and nerve pain journey and my adrenal fatigue journey. Now, for those of you who don't know, adrenal fatigue has many, many symptoms, but the main ones that I had to face were low energy levels and lack of focus, as I just mentioned. And so these are the ones that I talk about. When you have these two, it's not a good combination to have with spinal and nerve pain, because it gets so difficult to tackle your pain when you have low energy levels. There were many times when I was about to give up, but thankfully I didn't. Anyway, so not digging much into my story, you can find all that on my website. However, let's get into the topic for today, which is why long term resting is long-term resting really the best remedy? And I'm going to give you some tips or some solutions for pain relief that may work for you. These are simple and easy solutions, however, they are effective. Anyway, so let's talk about what happens when you do long-term rest. Now, when I say long-term rest, what I'm referring to is not like you have acute pain, you lie down, you take a rest, you get over the pain. That's different. But sometimes with chronic conditions or chronic pain, that is pain that goes on for a long period of time, you tend to rest it out more and do less and less activity in order to get pain relief. So there's a very fine balance between rest and activity. And anybody who's suffered from pain, especially from chronic pain, knows this very well. However, let me tell you the other side of what happens when you do long term rests, or you, I'm not saying bed rest, but you spend more time in bed or resting on your couch or bed or wherever you rest as compared to activity. So you have decreased muscle support is the main thing that happens. Your muscles, they act as a scaffolding around your joints, your spine, etc. In to keep your body in a proper. It keeps your body moving. Basically, when you have a building that's, say, is an old building, or there's a collapsing building, you put that scaffolding around it so that the structure of the building is more stable. Similarly, I mean, this is just a random example, but similarly, when you have those bones or the skeleton or spine, and then you have these muscles, they sort of support the joints. So even when people have arthritis, or think about joint degeneration, or say issues to do with the bony skeleton, that is your joints and spine, if you have strong muscles, they can support your joints in the long run. Now, when you tend to go and have extended rest periods, or you avoid movement on an everyday basis, we're talking general movement. So this actually makes your muscles weaker. When those muscles are weaker, they're not able to support your joints and spine well. So basically, they cannot adequately stabilize your spine and joints, and that will increase your pain and discomfort. Now, another thing is there is a loss of flexibility and joint mobility as well. Now, usually when you have pain, you might have experienced some morning stiffness or some achiness in the evening. Now, if you respond by lying down more than required, of course, you should take rest. I'm a big advocate of rest, but listen to your body, rest it out. However, do give it movement. Otherwise, what happens is your joints or your spine, they miss out on the movement that is needed to stay lubricated, like those joint fluid that washes over the joints or keeps it lubricated, keeps it going. That reduces over time, and the flexibility reduces over time, and that can actually increase your stiffness and discomfort, especially when it comes to your back, neck, hip, these bigger joints, the knees, the ankles, etc. Really the whole body, but these bigger ones get affected very easily. Also, movement is essential for maintaining a healthy circulation. So, for example, if you look at your calf muscles, they have, okay, this is getting a bit nerdy, but please hear me out on this if you are looking for the reasons to move. Your calf muscles have these blood vessels, the veins. They have one-way valves, so the blood flows easily from, say, your knee area to your ankle area because of gravity. However, when you walk, and the pumping action of the muscle, that is, the muscle contracts and relaxes, and obviously when you're walking, that happens. That pumping action of the muscle, that is what pumps the blood back towards the heart. Because the valves are one way, you need that pumping action to push the blood back into the body. So that is why you'll realize that people who are on prolonged bed rests often have swelling in their feet or ankle areas. So I'm not saying that if you have prolonged bed rest, you will get swelling, but what I'm trying to say is the circulation keeps going throughout your body if you do not adapt to a very sedentary lifestyle. For example, if you're one of those who spend long hours on the, say, couch, you're very sedentary. Of course, the blood circulation is still there and the body doesn't stop, but it slows down minimally, and then that gradually compounds and builds up. And your tissues need oxygen. Your body needs that oxygen for the nutrition. They don't get what they require. So this can prolong your inflammation, and that in turn can exaggerate your pain. Anyway, enough of nerdy stuff. So what can you do about it? Now, you could do gentle movements, because I'm not saying go to the gym, lift weights, or do big movements when you're in pain. Once your acute pain subsides, you come into the subacute stage before you get chronic pain. So even if you can't figure out where you are in that acute, subacute, and chronic, once that excessive pain reduces, try and get in gentle movements like light stretches, or maybe just sitting down and doing some exercises while you're sitting. So for example, I can just move my neck from one side to the other, I can do some shoulder rolls, and so on. Now, even 5 minutes of break during your workday, or even if you're working from home or not going for work, you're somebody who stays at home because you're not well, or because you have the pain, try and do that short 5 minutes break. So 5 minutes of exercise, or even 2 to 3 minutes of movement during the hour or every 2 hours, whatever is feasible with your lifestyle. Now, if you're looking for some desk-based exercises that you can do, I have a free video guide which gives you exercises starting right from your neck down to your toes. Now, depending on, I do explain it in the guide, but depending on how you do the exercise, it can be finished within 2 to 3 minutes. Now, I mean, 2 or 3 minutes is something we can all spare within the hour, right? So that is something you can find in a blog that I have written on this topic, and the blog is called "Why Long-Term Resting Might Be Making Your Pain Worse Instead of Better." So I will leave a link to that blog in the description of this video. If you're watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you cannot find it, message me, and I will send it across to you. All right, so going back to that blog that I was talking about, it also has a couple of other links to relevant blogs. I mean, it's got a lot of information in there. It gives you more details on what I just spoke about, plus more information. It has a video in there that will also be helpful for you on movement and activity and how to balance it. All right, so moving on, we were talking about the solution. So one was those desk based or light exercises. The other is, do not forget to work on your core and postural muscles. Now, usually when we do exercises, we think of just movement, but once you start to get better and you're okay with movement, move on to the next stage, which of course this is very dependent on, I mean, this is very generic what I'm giving you. It depends on where your pain is and what the problem is because of which you have the pain. But you can do exercises to engage your core, support good posture like planks, bridges, or actually you can, in that blog that I have written, I will leave a link to my free community where I have done a full training on core muscles, and it gives you stages. You can do like very basic or little advanced or well advanced versions of the same exercises. So when I say exercises, don't get overwhelmed with it. It's something really simple, something you can incorporate into your everyday activities. And there is also a free training on posture, so you can have a look at that. um yeah, so really that was it. There's more in that blog. I will leave you with that because otherwise this video will get too long. Now, if you are interested in anything that I spoke about, like those desk-based exercises and things I told you about the blog, have a look at that. And yeah, so if you have any questions, any comments for me, let me know and I'll be happy to help you out. Just drop your comments below the video and